Hi everyone. So in this video, I'll be reviewing my own book, and I've wrote the important stuff, and then the book was from Jack, or no, it was by Jack C. Richards and Theodore S. Rogers. So in this video, I've wrote the important parts, as you can see here. I don't know if you can see it or not. So, in the first chapter, it talks about the old methods or the previous methods where teachers using the grammar translation method. It focused to the translation, and yeah, the book starts by explaining the older methods such as the grammar translation method. Um, then there's some critics about this method because it is not effective for communication. This thing shows that others methods can be used even better. So in real time, the other methods could be used in real time. One of the early improvements of the methods is the direct method, where students learn the language by using it directly without translation. This helps students become more active in speaking and listening. And the chapter 2 talks about the basic concept of approach. This book talks so many about the theories, and it is also explained that there are three language three language mm, so the first one is structural, second one is functional, and the third one is interactional. This shows that the language is not only seen as a system but also seen as uh, as a thing for us to communicate through social activity. Now for the third chapter, it talks about the situational language teaching, which um, which uses language through situational context. And then the students learn the structure language through real-time activity so that the students could understand the meaning and how to use them. Now for the chapter 4, it talks about the audio-lingual method, which focus to making habits, talking through practicing. So you practice using drills. There are a lot of drills. So the first one is repetition, the second one is inflection, third one is replacement, fourth one is restatement, the fifth one is completion, the sixth one is transposition, the seventh one is expansion, The eighth one is contraction. The ninth, transformation. 10th, integration. 11th, rejoinder. 12th, restoration. That is chapter 4. And then I have the the quote here. The first language is maintained as the reference system in the acquisition of the second language. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yes. It's by Stern, 1983, 455. It's on the page 5. So this quote explains that grammar translation method is actually used as a first language. No, no, no. First language is used to be your first your first your first it's like your first mother language. So and then the second one means that no, the second one is using your foreign language, and it means that students always um, always membandingkan dengan bahasa. So this makes the students not mm, not getting a new habit, not not good at speaking. So yeah, speaking on real time. Then there's a lot of stuff that I've wrote. The most interesting part is language is a vehicle for the realization of interpersonal relations. Why do I find it interesting? Because it shows that language is not only a tool for us to communicate, but also for us to build your social life, which is really interesting. Yes. Now on to the chapter 2. No, no, no. I mean block 2, chapter 5 till 10. So, chapter 5, it talks about the TPR, total physical response. And then the chapter 6 talks about the silent way. And chapter 7 talks about the community language teaching. No, no, no. Community language learning and suggestopedia. Both of these methods um, goes to psychologic factor, like is it good and do you feel confidence, and what is the relevance between the teacher and the students in the process of learning. Yeah, that is it. Then chapter 9 talks about whole language, and chapter 10 talks about multiple intelligences. From this block I could see that these methods is actually pretty difficult to understand because there's a lot of methods from this book, from the book by Jack Richards, and then I wrote just the important parts. And then there's another quote Total physical response is a language teaching method built around the coordination of speech and action. That is the quote. It's pretty cool. Then block 3, I've wrote the short stuff about this. Chapter 11 talks about CLT, which is communicative language teaching. Then chapter 12 talks about content-based instruction, CBI. Then chapter 13 talks about task-based language teaching, TBLT. Chapter 14 talks about cooperative language learning. Chapter 15 talks about lexical approach, which focused to the various of words. And the quote is cooperative learning is a group. No. The quote is cooperative learning is group learning activity organized so that learning is dependent on the socially structured exchange of information between learners in group. Olson and Kagan, 1992. Page 192. Now on to the last thing that I've wrote. Chapter 17 till 19. Chapter 17 talks about the changes of the old method into more flexible. So there's no one method. There are no uh, best method to teach students. And then chapter 18 talks about teachers' role, which is complex, and teachers is not only just just delivering delivering a speech to the students, but also a facilitator for the students to learn. And then chapter 19 talks about the concept post method, which is not into be one method, but the teachers are supposedly mixing all the methods together so that the class and the students can be more comfortable when learning and the teaching process began. And then the quote, these elements are viewed as turning a network of interacting system. No, wait. These elements are viewed as forming a network of interacting systems. Richards, 2000, page 248. And that is it for my book review. I mean the project for my Ramadan project. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. See you next time.